Honoring with today, Honorable Kindness Adesina. We welcome from Oyo State, Oyo State, gateway to Nigeria. Distinguished Senator Shuaib, Salisu, Chairman, Senate Committee on ICT and Cybersecurity. Your Excellency, Senator Shuaib Salisu, we welcome you, sir. We welcome you, sir. A round of applause for him. Thank you. It's my father. It was former. If you get sons, your sons can bear your glory.
Distinguished Your Excellencies, let's welcome the guest lecturer represented by the Senator representing Oyo Central, Senator Shuaib Afolabi Salisu. Senator, the ball is in your court. Thank you. Good afternoon to us all. To avoid committing cybercrime, just to emphasize that I'm representing the Senate leader, distinguished Senator Opeyemi Bamidele. So the voice you're going to be hearing is that of Senator representing Oyo Central. So I'm standing in for Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, and I intend to do this in the next 20 to 25 minutes. But first, I need to establish some protocols, and I have a challenge here. Challenge because we have in this house here a galaxy of stars that time would not allow me to recognize each and every one of them. But nonetheless, I must do some samples to represent the cross-section of the VIP that are here. I will start with His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the man who shared the same trajectory politically with the man for whom we are gathered here today. And I'm referring to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President and Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, represented by the Honorable Minister of Power, our own very good brother, Honorable Adesina. I'd like to recognize our leader in the progressive family, particularly in the Southwest, a former governor of Oyo State, former minister, former deputy chairman of our party in the South, and I refer to His Excellency, our leader, former minister, Leader, I greet you, sir. There are seven members of National Assembly here, and I'm going to use the chairman of Senate Committee on Aviation, ranking Senator Afolabi, to greet and recognize all the seven senators that are here. And of course, I'm going to use the chairman of FEMA in the House of Representatives, Honorable Lamidi Ona-Olapo Adesina, as a point of contact for all the serving members of the House of Representatives, past members of National Assembly here represented. And I'm using His Excellency, distinguished Senator Afolabi, as a point of contact for all the former senators and members of National Assembly that are here. Former deputy governors, particularly Chief Inola, who served as the deputy governor to Lam Adesina, and of course Chief Moses, our father, who also served as the deputy governor to Senator Opeyemi. As former governors, I recognize Kabiru Aribeshola, who has come to represent His Excellency Rao Aribeshola here, party leaders, our clergies, members of the party, let me now formally recognize the matriarch of Lam Adesina family, our mama Ekomoleduro, ọlọ́wọ́ tó bọ̀ dúró tì í, ilé òní kan oró, ọlọ́wọ́ tó bá ń ṣe láti bàtẹ́ tí ń ṣe bọ̀, ọlọ́wọ́ ní kò lẹ́yìn ní, ọlọ́wọ́ adó tì í. And of course, I recognize my brother, former member of House of Representatives, Dr. Lam Adesina, and of course to each and every one of us. I bring you goodwill and best wishes of the leader of the Senate, the Supreme Senator Michael Opeyemi Bamidele, indeed the Southwest Caucus in the National Assembly, both in the Senate and House of Representatives, to celebrate the life and time of a man who embodied the progressive politics and for whom we regard as one of the heroes past, whose labor shall not go in vain. People who represented the line of our national anthem that they were handed over to us in banner without stain. Today, I am extremely delighted to be here. Providence has given me 3 opportunities. Indeed, if you had not invited me, I would have invited myself. Number 1, it will go down in history as being the very first person to deliver the inaugural lecture of Lam Adesina annual memorial lecture, and that should be a plus for my democratic, particularly progressive politics. So I have the honor of being forced to talk to you to deliver the speech at the first inaugural lecture of Lam Adesina series. And I'm also saying that today's topic, which is improving Nigerian governance, lessons from the past and strategies for the future, is also a second reason why I'm delighted to be here, particularly at a time that we have the renewal agenda of Mr. President. There's no better time to talk about lessons from the past and strategies for the future, and therefore delighted to be here. The third and the final reason is that I believe that this discourse will deepen our democratic journey and also enhance our search for good governance in the country. I intend to go through this in the next 20-25 minutes, and I'm forced to start by creating a context. Let's talk about Lam Adesina, the prisoner of war, and from there we take a glimpse into our past, what has worked in the past, and from what has worked in the past, we will talk about where we are now and how we got here. And from there, I will proceed to make some suggestions as to what should be our anchors for the future, things that we need to do to improve good governance in the country. It is not all darkness. I will call our attention to a few things that I believe are the ones in the land, things that should give us hope that indeed Nigeria's trajectory is on the right. Our glass as a country is half full, not half empty. And therefore, after that, and I will conclude and I will take my rest. Today, we will remember that Lam Adesina represented the club of politicians who defined the Southwest. He was a teacher by excellence, he was an educator, and what is particularly very interesting is that today will be exactly 12 years that he passed on. Those who decried, who dubbed him as prisoner of war, they are today footnote of history. The man that was called a prisoner of war is being celebrated 12 years after his death. Those who arrested him, those who tortured him, those who took him to prison and called him prisoner of war, do you even remember their names? If you do, it is not with light, it is not with fear. It does mean that whatever you do, continue to live after you and continue to elevate your memory and the fond memories of whom we are celebrating today. What has happened in the past? What I don't see that have made good governance will be very possible in the past. There are about 5 issues, 5 factors that made good governance very, very good in the past. Number 1 is the quality of the participant in the political process. And I'll give you an example. In the Northwestern region, she wrote me brilliant. One of the most renowned lawyers from this part of the world was a member of government. In the First Republic, we have people like Dr. Lateef Adebute. He was a member of government. We have Professor Fademi Rogo. We have our Baba Ajasin, Baba Lam Adesina. These These were accomplished people who had something to their name before they went into politics. Baba Lam Adesina that we have come to celebrate today was a principal, and at the time when principals were next to God, these were the quality of people. If you look at the Second Republic, the 5 governors that we have in the Southwest, you will see Mr. Obasanjo in Oyo State, an accomplished journalist. You will see Latin Jacobbe in Lagos State, accomplished journalist. You come to Oyo State, it was Bolage. You come to Bamidele State, it was Professor Amos Ali. These were people who were accomplished in their individual respect. They have something to their name before they came into politics. So the first thing that worked in the past was the quality of participants in the political process. The second thing that worked was we had very strong political parties that had clear ideologies. In 1979, as an example, we knew the European government as a party identified with free education. The NPM was known as a party that was identified with providing shelter. There were clear ideologies between the parties. Unlike what we have today, UPN, we know them what they represented, NPN, we knew what they represented, and they had very strong leadership. At that point in time, the party was supreme. This was a point in time when Baba Akiloye was the chairman of the party. Whenever there was a meeting of the party, the then president, Shehu Shagari, would be seated, waiting for the arrival of the chairman of the party. Unlike now, where the chairman and the party is an appendage of the government house. So we have very strong party leadership. Party leadership that will enforce discipline. Parties that were responsible for producing and selecting candidates. That was the second reason. So we had parties, they had ideology, they had manifesto, and they held those who were elected on the platform of the party, they held them accountable to the manifestos of the party. The third reason was also that the society itself had a very strong moral value. And I will give an example. Today, I am a senator representing Oyo Central Senatorial District. In 1979, Cynthia Abiola, the wife of MP Abiola, contested for this seat for Oyo Central Senatorial District. Abiola spent all the money. Abiola provided all the facilities. But the people of Oyo Central, they were not moved by the money. Who they elected somebody who had no name, because that person embodied and represented the value of the South. It wasn't about money then, it was about the value of the society itself. The society at that point in time did not expect you not only to live within certain moral conduct, but they also did not make any demand of you that can only be satisfied through corrupt means. So the society was strong. The moral fabric of the society was strong. Therefore, those elected on the platform of the party, they also imbibe the fabrics of the society. The number 4 thing that also enhanced good governance was also the healthy rivalry between the regions. The Western region established the University of Ife, now called Opeyemi University. The Eastern region established University of Nigeria that our Baba Lam Adesina attended. And the Northern region established Bamidele University. So there was a healthy rivalry, particularly because the country just got independent. Every region wanted to develop, every region wanted to outdo each other in performance. Therefore, the people elected were very deliberate in promoting development in their various regions. Fast forward to 1979, when we had Jaconde's Onabanjo. It is not coincidence that it was at that point in time that the Lagos State University was established, Oyo State University was established, Ladoga University was established, Afolabi University was established. This was a time that was a healthy rivalry among the states to outdo each other in governance, and therefore there was good governance across, particularly the Western region. Lastly, at this point in time, what also enhanced good governance in the past was that we had, through civil society organizations and individuals who are determined to be the conscience of the society. Some of us will remember Dr. Oyo Olapo Adesina. We will remember Opeyemi. We will remember the younger Oyo. We will remember, if you double me, I will tackle you. This was at a time the civil society organizations, they were not just vehicles for making money, they were vehicles to serve as the conscience of the society. So we have all those 5 elements. Those 5 elements were in place to hold those who are government accountable. Today, what have we witnessed? We have witnessed very general decline in the quality of participation in governance and the quality of governance that we have in the country. And I'll give you a few examples. When the military first struck the First Republic, the civilian government that took over from them was wicked. When the military struck again in 1983, the civilian government that succeeded them became further wicked. When General Bamidele took over, they also weakened the democratic structure further and further. So we began to see the decline in the party structure, we began to see decline in the governance structure. Again, we have also seen the wrong metrics of measuring performance of people in political office. I am a senator and represent the people of Oyo Central Senatorial District. I chair the Senate Committee on National and Cyber Security. Senator Brady is here, Chairman Senate Committee on Aviation. Honorable Oyo State is here, Chairman House Committee on Farmer, and many other senators. No matter the quality of debates, no matter the number of motions and bills that you move in the National Assembly, if you fail to distribute Okada, Keke Marwa, infrastructure, even the party member will not give you a return ticket. So we have adopted metrics of performance that are in total dissonance with good governance. A senator's responsibility, a member of National Assembly responsibility is to make laws, is to do budget, is to perform oversight functions. But pray, somebody can be in the National Assembly for 4 years. He may not even stand up for one to say, my name is so and so and I represent so constituency. It doesn't matter to the people. What matters to the people is that 6 months of the election, let him come back, let him line up Okada, let him line up Keke Marwa, let him line up money. People will give him the ticket and they will go up to occupy that thing. So if you want good governance, our metrics of performance must also reflect what we expect. It is what you expect that you will get. It is what you will enforce that happens. Therefore, if you want our political officers to give us good governance, then the metrics of measuring performance must also reflect good governance. The 5th item for me is our elites. And I said this with profound respect to our elites. I am one of them. Our elites are the most opportunistic. Our elites, for want of a better word, are irresponsible. And I will explain. I am a product of a local government primary school. I am also a product of a community grammar school. My university is University of Lagos, all public school. As at the time I was growing up in Abeokuta, there were only 3 nursery schools, and Abeokuta is one of the most civilized towns in Nigeria. If you agree, you can raise up your hand. If you don't, it doesn't matter. I am saying so, and I have the power with the microphone. However, the public primary school was far, far better. I have read the biography of the man for whom we are gathered. All of the schools you attended were public schools. All the schools you attended were public schools. Now, our elite, when our public education began to dwindle, rather than the elite of our society coming forward to say, we need to address the dreams in our public education, what did they do? They began to establish private nursery school for their children. When the decline got to the secondary school, they went and started establishing private secondary school for their children. No more Loyola College. The Loyola College of the old, the government college Ibadan of the old, Ibadan Grammar School of the old, University Baptist High School of the old. Those began to deteriorate, and our elites began to find alternative for their own children by creating private schools. When the decline got to university education, what did they do again? They also began to establish private university or send their children abroad without caring about ensuring that those public education system that Awolowo gave to them, that Lam Adesina enhanced. I was watching the documentary, and I saw the number of schools that Lam Adesina built in just 4 years. Our elite abandoned the responsibility as opinion holders, and guess what? On the day of elections, and I've contested election for a couple of times. On the day of elections, our elite will be in the courtroom room. They'll be watching Man U versus Arsenal. That was the time they will be watching the backlog of their movies. They will not go to vote, and in the evening, they expect the result of the election to reflect what they do to what they didn't contribute anything to. So our elite also abandoned the political process. And what do you have that I control now? You know them? I am in Ibadan, and I want to be able to go back safely. Otherwise, I would have said in Ibadan, you have Tokyo, you have auxiliary, in Lagos, you have FC Oloma, and like. But I will not mention those names. No, I won't mention those names. They are more popular than the president of the Nigerian Bar Association. They are more influential than the president of the Nigerian Medical Association. They are more relevant than the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. This is the society that we have, and these are the people who determine the political outcome. When they determine the political outcome, guess what? Who will care about the rest of you? That the only time you talk and participate in the political process is on Arise television. So therefore, our elite advocating the political space has also been part of the problem that reduce the quality of governance and the dividend of democratic rule that we should enjoy in the country. Because of all of this, the bad governance has now exacerbated our fault lines. Religion has become a factor, tribalism has become a factor, but the political class don't care about religion or tribe when they sit down to feast on the common patrimony. They only do so when they want to win vote. So we must also ensure that we as a people also measure what we expect to come. So what do we have? We have a total disconnect now between the government and the government. To the extent that if government does what is right, the citizens have become so cynical that they will say those things are a mistake. It's because the quality of governance has reduced. What do I think we need to do? Number one, we need to have a moral rearmament. We need national ethos. No society thrives on the basis of neutralism alone. No society thrives on the basis of neutralism alone. And I'll give you an example. When you talk about America, that's what they call American dream. You know that about their capitalism. When you talk about China, you know they are left leaning. They have socialism. If you talk about Britain, you know they are conservative. Go to the Middle East, like it, hate it. You know Israel has an ideology. Iran has an ideology. India has an ideology. No nation, no society thrives without a driving ideology. There must be something that glues the society together. There must be something that defines the national ethos. There must be something that the citizens can relate to. Materialism alone cannot give us development. We need to have a national ethos. In the Southwest, we used to have the concept of Opeyemi. And the concept of Opeyemi was so strong that as a young child in Abeokuta, as a young child, if a family was suspected to have gone into affluence that could not be explained, our parents would call us. Don't pay salary, malodge salary, water shokugo, because we do not know where they're getting their money from. The concept of Opeyemi has disappeared. So as a country, for us to have a true development, we must have nationality. Something that drives us all, that drives all of us. And we need a more stakeholders approach. Our clergy must not only preach, they must also live on the preach. Our traditional rulers should stop giving money, should not giving title to groups, to people whose sort of money we cannot explain. Our political party should stop giving tickets to people only on the basis of money. The second thing I believe we need to do, we need to align the performance metrics with what we expect. A member of a legislature, these are your roles, we measure you on the basis of those roles. When last did you hear that a senator in America distributed Okada? When last did you hear that a member of parliament in UK distributed solar lights? Just about the job of a legislator. But my fellow legislator, please do so if you want to return. I'm doing so in my state. But I'm saying that's not our job. So we must also begin to align our performance metrics with what the quality and with what the requirement of the job should be. Number 3, more power to be devolved to the subnational. And we have seen a track of that regard, and we must thank President Bola Tinubu. A few things are happening that if you look at them individually, they will look insignificant. But when you put them together, Bola Tinubu may be on the way to do political reform in a very subtle manner. 2 examples I will give you. The local government autonomy. Everybody thinks local government autonomy. As we speak now, all the states in the country are struggling to conduct local government election. The one for Oyo State is next week. So we're also conducting the local government election. This is happening in a very subtle manner. Number 2, every region now has a development commission. And in a very swift manner, the president has created a ministry of regional development. I ask you, look closely. This thing and Thursday, a tax reform bill is coming to National Assembly. All of these are subtle things that the president is doing to devote more powers to subnational. When powers become devoted to subnational, I believe there will be a healthy competition, healthy rivalry again. Number 4, I am. You know, I thought they have hacked my microphone. If you hack my microphone, I will charge for cybercrime. That's the computer I supervise. And I'm talking about technology. Some of you will remember, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, if you needed to obtain visa of UK or US, you go to Watercarity Street in Lagos. You could stay there from 12 midnight till the morning when they will call you. But today, that process has been digitized. As I speak here, somebody is booking my return flight to Abuja for me. I don't have to go to the airport. I don't have to pay a tout. The next thing we must insist is government must digitize its operations and its activities. Without digitization, we are going to give the civil servant the leeway to determine whether to attend to you or not to you. Why you can book your hotel, whether in New York, you can go to Umrah and book your hotel from here. Why do I need to go to Abuja to access government services? Why must I come to government house in Ibadan here to be able to obtain government services from Ogbomoso? So technology must also be deployed. With technology, we're going to minimize the discretion available to civil servants. It will minimize the cost of governance and it also reduce corruption. Lastly, as a suggestion, whenever you listen to Nigerians talk about Nigeria, the only thing they don't talk about is what is my own role in bringing about the new Nigeria I'm talking about. It is always very easy to use the word they, Amoloriwa, they, our government, they, our National Assembly. Meanwhile, the man is the chairman of CDA. He cannot even account for the money that they contributed for the development of his area. The man is the chairman of the resident association. He cannot account for the money that the resident contributed to fix the potholes in the estate. The greatest factor for this country to change is the me factor. If each and every one of us also begins to represent the idea we like to see, if our market women in Portugal, in Agodi, if they also begin to represent the transparency, the integrity in the process that they are looking for in their leader, little by little. After all, there was a time in the western region that you'll be traveling and from another local government, the local government that borders you, that borders Omeaju, on that stretch of the road, as a young person, you will see fruit, you will see food items by the roadside. When we are coming from Abeokuta, you will stop, you will see the money that they will have put there to indicate the cost. You take your own and you put money down there. This is not about government, it's about value. Where are those value? Has it gone? So for us to go back, every one of us here must be Lam Adesina. You cannot come to celebrate Lam Adesina and begin to behave like those who call Lam Adesina prisoner of war. You must be Lam Adesina. The true way to celebrate Lam Adesina is good in what we are doing, but the better way is for each and every one of us to say, what did Lam Adesina do when he was a member of the House of Representatives? What did he do when he was principal of the school? What did he do as governor of the state? That is the main factor that we all need to go about with. We cannot continue to point accusing fingers at others. We cannot be using the word day when we are saying we fail to do what is needful. I will conclude this way by calling your attention to say it's not all blue. Nigeria is on the rise. And this is not just an optimism because the president is there. Of course, because the president is there, a tested leader, a proven administrator, somebody who identifies nurtures talent, someone who is committed to Nigeria. He has been in trenches, now he's in a villa, he's able to combine the experience. It's not just about that. Of course, that's part of it. But I also tell you two other things. Number one, when you look closely, this country produced a DORA account union. The law of NAFDAC was not changed for DORA. DORA brought herself to the job. And today, if I ask you to mention 3 names of the DGs of NAFDAC, you will easily recollect DORA. You will scratch your head to the name to remember 2 other ones. So DORA was from this country. It's at the point when she came, it gave us a hope that all is not lost in this country. Number 2, there's an Oloide, the jam registrar. Again, when people talk about it is the system, human beings build the system, not the other way around. Oloide is a professor of Arabic. He is the 5th lecturer of JAM. There have been 4 lecturers of JAM before him. 2 of them were professors of psychometrics, of testing. What JAM was set up to do. They didn't deliver the JAM that we wanted. It took a professor of Arabic, somebody who was not familiar with tests and psychometrics, to come and turn around JAM. Therefore, for as long as there's an Oloide here, for as long as there's a DORA clearly, we cannot give up on this country. Those who are seeking of excellence convince me that the country's glass is half full, not half empty. I enjoy you to look at this country with a view of an horticulturalist. An horticulturalist will get to a garden, he will see the lush green, he will see the centipede, he will see the millipede, he will see everything working in order, and he will say, oh, what an amazing garden. The same garden, a sanitary inspector will get there. Rather to see the lush green, rather to see the ecosystem, he will see the centipede and say, oh, this is source of jam, this is source of death. The same garden, different perspective. Let's look at our country with the view of an horticulturalist and not that of the sanitary inspector. I would like to conclude this way. That we may be going through a lot of challenges now. But something was comforting to me. I was going through this program and I saw a quote by the man we have come to celebrate, about Lam Adesina. He said something that I consider to be very profound. He says in this program, he says, in the face of despair, you believe there's hope. In the face of militancy, you believe there can be peace. In the face of election rigging and subverting the wishes of the people, you believe one day our votes will count. In the face of politics that shuts you out, you believe you can be one people reaching for what is possible. In the face of ineffective leaders, you believe that Nigeria will still make it. In the face of lack of good schools, you believe our education system can still be better. In the face of a black future for the youth, you believe there's light at the end of the tunnel. Lam Adesina. I'd never like to conclude. I'd like to conclude with the words of the man that was a political sage, not just of the Southwest, but of Nigeria. The man that Lam Adesina was a disciple. I'm referring to Chief Opeyemi Awolowo. And Chief Opeyemi said this. And I will leave that to be able to ponder on. And he says, I would like to be remembered for helping to build a strong and united multi-ethnic state. I want to be remembered for creating the basis for irreversible revolution in education, in the provision of social justice in Nigeria. I have not succeeded in all days, but I have set a pattern which no other Nigerian can ignore. Nothing more to say. God bless and God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Part of Ibadan land is properly represented here by
Senator, and let's try to lecture. You hit the nail on it. And I'm also so confessed that you ended on a positive note. There is a great future for Nigeria, and we have the capacity to build a country for the common good.